You have a goal. You have a vision for your future, a dream that's bigger than the limitations you placed on yourself. But here's the truth. You're not going to reach that dream by continuing to be the same person you are today. The best version of you is out there waiting, but it's up to you to step into that version. It's up to you to make the changes, put in the work, and fight through the challenges. The best version of yourself is not a product of time or circumstances. It's a product of your decisions. So let me ask you, what is holding you back? What are you doing right now that's keeping you from being the person you're meant to be? Are you letting fear control you? Are you making excuses? Are you allowing the past to dictate your future? Okay, the person you are today is not the person you have to stay. You have the power to transform. You have the power to become the best version of you. But it starts with one simple truth. You have to take responsibility for your life. It's time to stop blaming your circumstances, your upbringing, or anyone else for where you are. Your current situation is the result of your past decisions, and your future will be determined by the decisions you make today. You cannot keep waiting for someone or something to change your life. The change starts with you. It's time to get serious about what you want and take full ownership of your actions, your habits, and your mindset. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you got to embrace discomfort. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zone. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you face fear, when you're forced to adapt. You can't stay where you are and expect different results. It's time to get uncomfortable. Embrace the grind, embrace the hustle, and embrace the struggle, because it's the hard times that shape you into the person you need to become. The best version of you is not afraid of failure. It doesn't run from mistakes. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning of growth. Every time you fail, you learn, you get better, you improve. Success is built on failure. It's built on resilience, on the ability to get back up when life knocks you down. Stop fearing failure and start seeing it as the stepping stone to your success. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more you grow. Lastly, you have to commit to consistency. It's not the big moments that define success. It's the daily grind, the everyday effort that compounds over time. You can't expect to be the best version of yourself without consistent action. It's about showing up every day, no matter how tired you are, no matter how tough things get. The best version of you is built one day at a time, one step at a time. Keep going, keep pushing, and never stop improving. You're capable of more than you know, and consistency will take you there. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It's about acknowledging that where you are right now, in every aspect of your life, is a result of the choices you've made. Many people spend their lives blaming others, their circumstances, or the world for the things that are wrong in their lives. But the truth is, the moment you stop pointing fingers and start looking inward, you unlock the power to change everything. Responsibility is the key to personal growth, and it's the only way to gain control over your future. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop being a victim of your circumstances. No longer do you blame your upbringing, your job, your relationships, or your environment for your unhappiness or lack of success. You begin to realize that while you may not have control over everything that happens to you, you have total control over how you respond to it. I don't think you're really good at that. The challenges and setbacks that life throws at you are inevitable, but how you handle them is what truly matters. Once you accept this, you can stop complaining about your situation and start taking steps to improve it. Taking responsibility also means owning your decisions. Every choice you make, big or small, shapes your life. If you find yourself in a place you don't want to be, it's because of the decisions you've made in the past. This doesn't mean that you should beat yourself up for past mistakes. It means recognizing that your future is in your hands. By taking responsibility, you acknowledge that you can change your path. You have the power to make different decisions today that will lead to a different outcome tomorrow. Your life is shaped by the decisions you make each day, how you choose to think, how you choose to act, and how you choose to deal with challenges. Another important aspect of taking responsibility is understanding that you are the creator of your own story. Too often, people let others dictate their lives. They let toxic relationships, negative people, or the opinions of others hold them back. But when you take responsibility for your life, you take back the power. You stop waiting for someone else to make things happen for you. You realize that you are the only one who can create the life you want. You no longer wait for the perfect moment or for others to give you permission to succeed. You act on your goals, regardless of external circumstances. Taking responsibility for your life is also about being accountable for your growth. If you want to improve, you need to recognize the areas where you're not performing at your best and take ownership of them. It's easy to blame external factors or other people when things aren't going well, but the real change starts when you take full ownership of your actions and your growth. Only by facing your flaws head on can you begin to change them. It's about committing to your own development, making the effort to improve, and not waiting for someone else to fix things for you. Finally, taking responsibility for your life is about making peace with your past. Your past may be filled with mistakes, regrets, or setbacks, but when you take responsibility for those moments, you stop letting them control you. You recognize that your past doesn't define you. What defines you is what you choose to do now, in this moment, with the knowledge and wisdom you've gained. Taking responsibility for your life allows you to move forward, unburdened by the weight of regret, and empowered by the understanding that you have the ability to change your future. Embracing discomfort for growth is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in your life. Growth doesn't happen in the comfortable, predictable spaces of life. It happens when you step outside of what feels easy and secure. It happens when you push yourself beyond what you thought you were capable of. Discomfort is a signal that you're stretching, evolving, and on the verge of something bigger than yourself. When you avoid discomfort, you avoid progress. The truth is, most people shy away from discomfort. We're conditioned to seek comfort, safety, and security. We want things to be easy, we want things to go smoothly, and we want to avoid anything that makes us feel vulnerable or uncertain. But the most successful people, those who achieve remarkable things, are the ones who lean into discomfort. They understand that the discomfort they feel today is shaping them into the person they need to become tomorrow. Without discomfort, there is no growth. When you face discomfort, you are essentially confronting fear, and it's in those moments of fear that you truly grow. Fear of failure, rejection, or judgment often stops us from taking action. It convinces us that it's safer to stay where we are than to risk stepping into the unknown. But growth requires taking risks, even when those risks make us feel uneasy. Discomfort forces us to adapt, to become more resilient, and to prove to ourselves that we are capable of more than we initially believed. Every time you face discomfort, you build confidence and mental strength. You prove that you can handle the challenges that come your way. One of the most transformative ways discomfort can drive growth is through pushing your limits. We all have limitations, but those limits are often self-imposed. When we feel discomfort, it's often because we're hitting a wall, but that wall isn't always physical, it's mental and emotional. Pushing through discomfort means challenging your limiting beliefs, whether it's a belief about your capabilities, your worth, or your potential. It's in these moments of discomfort that you have the opportunity to reframe those beliefs and break through the mental barriers that have held you back. The more you push, the more you realize that those walls aren't as solid as they seem. Discomfort breaks down those walls and exposes your true potential. Discomfort is also an essential part of learning and acquiring new skills. Think about the last time you tried to learn something new. At first, it probably felt awkward, frustrating, and uncomfortable. Maybe you felt like you weren't good enough or that you would never master it. But the more you practiced, the more familiar it became, and eventually that discomfort turned into competence. Every new skill you acquire, every new challenge you overcome is a direct result of embracing discomfort. If you want to grow, you have to be willing to feel awkward, make mistakes, and put yourself in situations where you don't have all the answers. Ultimately, the discomfort you face is a sign that you're on the right path. It's your body and mind's way of telling you that you're challenging yourself, expanding your boundaries, and becoming better. The discomfort won't last forever, but the growth you experience from it will stay with you. When you embrace discomfort, you embrace the journey of becoming the best version of yourself. It's a reminder that your greatest potential lies just beyond the things that make you uncomfortable. And when you step into that discomfort with courage, you unlock doors to opportunities, experiences, and success that you never thought possible. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, something that should be feared or even hidden. However, The truth is that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a crucial stepping stone on the path to success. Every successful person you know has faced failure. They've stumbled, fallen, and made mistakes. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let those failures define them. Instead, they use each failure as a lesson, a springboard to something better. When you fail, it's easy to get discouraged, it feels uncomfortable, and it might feel like a personal defeat. But if you look closely, failure is the best teacher you will ever have. It shows you what doesn't work, which is just as important as knowing what does work. Every time you fail, you gain insight into what needs to be adjusted, improved, or changed. It's an opportunity to evaluate your actions, your approach, and your mindset. You're not failing because you're incapable. You're failing because you're learning, and learning is a process. Failure also builds resilience. It toughens you up and prepares you for the challenges ahead. The more you fail and get back up, the more you develop mental strength and perseverance. This resilience is essential for long-term success. Every time you face a setback and push through it, you get stronger. It's not the failures that determine your future, it's how you respond to them. Some people give up after failing once or twice, but the true difference makers are those who keep going despite their failures. They know that success is not an easy road, and they're willing to walk it no matter how many times they fall. In fact, many of the world's most successful people have failed more times than they can count. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. J.K. Rowling faced numerous rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team.
Good to see you.
These individuals didn't let failure stop them. Instead, they used it as a driving force. They understood that failure is not an obstacle, but a part of the journey. It's proof that you are daring enough to take risks, to put yourself out there, and to push boundaries. Without failure, you wouldn't have the experiences and lessons necessary for growth. Failure also teaches humility. It reminds you that you're not invincible, that there's always room to grow and improve. It keeps you grounded and pushes you to reflect on your weaknesses. Rather than being discouraged, failure should inspire you to adapt and evolve. It shows you that success isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each failure moves you closer to success because it provides you with the information you need to adjust and do better next time. In reality, failure is the fuel that drives success. The people who succeed are the ones who embrace failure, learn from it, and use it as a foundation to build upon. Failure doesn't define you unless you let it. Every setback, every challenge, and every mistake is an opportunity to rise higher. So the next time you fail, don't be afraid to face it head on. Use it as a stepping stone to the success that lies ahead. Commitment to consistency is one of the most powerful principles you can apply in your life. It is not the big dramatic gestures or sudden bursts of effort that bring lasting success, but the everyday actions and the persistence to keep moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. Consistency is what creates real change. It's the small decisions you make every day, the habits you form, and the discipline you develop that compound over time and bring you closer to your goals. When you commit to consistency, you acknowledge that success doesn't come overnight. It doesn't happen with a single effort or a one-time big push. Instead, success is built through small daily actions. It's the ability to show up day in and day out and put in the work, even when the results aren't immediate or obvious. This requires a level of patience, dedication, and resilience. Too many people start strong and fizzle out because they expect quick rewards. But real growth takes time, and consistency is the key that unlocks the door to long-term success. Being consistent doesn't mean doing everything perfectly, and it doesn't mean you need to be motivated every single day. It's about sticking to a routine even when motivation fades. Consistency is about doing the work regardless of how you feel. On days when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged, it's easy to make excuses and skip the work. But it's on those days that your consistency matters most. It's those small actions, even when you don't feel like it, that keep the momentum going and push you closer to your goals. The more you commit to this discipline, the more natural it becomes, and over time, it becomes a part of who you are. Consistency also builds trust both in yourself and in others. When you are consistent in your actions, you prove to yourself that you can be relied upon. You become someone who honors their word and delivers on promises, no matter how small the task. This self-trust is powerful because it helps you push through challenges and setbacks, knowing that you are capable of doing the work. Additionally, people will trust you when they see you consistently showing up, whether it's in your personal life or professional endeavors. Trust and reliability are the foundations of strong relationships and successful partnerships. Moreover, consistency is what allows you to master your craft. Whether you're learning a new skill, building a business, or improving your fitness, it's daily effort that leads to improvement. At first, progress may feel slow or insignificant, but with each day, you're getting better. Every small effort adds up, and over time, those small efforts lead to big results. It's easy to get discouraged when results don't show up immediately, but remember that consistency compounds. What seems like minimal progress today can result in significant achievements over time. The path to greatness is paved with consistency. It's about doing the right things regularly, staying focused, and trusting the process. Success isn't about hitting it big in a moment of inspiration. It's about the grind, the daily effort, and the ability to continue even when the results aren't visible yet. Commit to consistency, and the results will follow. It's not always glamorous, and it often requires sacrifices, but over time, you'll look back and realize that the consistent actions you took each day were the building blocks of the life you've created. Owning your actions and habits is a crucial step toward achieving personal growth and success. Every choice you make, whether big or small, shapes the direction of your life. The actions you take and the habits you form are the foundation of your future, and they ultimately determine the person you become. When you take full responsibility for these elements, you empower yourself to make positive changes and take control of your destiny. It's easy to blame external factors or other people for where you are in life, but when you do that, you give away your power. When you own your actions and habits, you reclaim that power. You understand that your current situation is a result of the decisions you've made up until now, and you have the ability to change that. Whether you're happy with where you are or feel stuck, it's a direct reflection of the choices you've made in the past. The key is recognizing that the ability to improve your circumstances is in your hands, and that starts with taking ownership of your actions and the habits you've developed. Owning your actions means being honest with yourself about what you're doing and why you're doing it. It means no longer making excuses or pretending that circumstances or other people are the cause of your struggles. It's about recognizing that every action you take, whether it's pursuing a goal or procrastinating, is a choice. If you're not where you want to be, you have to acknowledge that the responsibility for that lies with you. It's a hard truth to face, but it's also incredibly freeing. Once you take ownership of your actions, you can start to make changes and create the outcomes you want. Your habits play a huge role in shaping your life. Habits are the compound effect of your daily actions, and they can either propel you forward or hold you back. If you have positive habits like waking up early, exercising, reading, or staying disciplined with your work, they help you move closer to your goals. But if your habits are negative, like procrastinating, staying up late, or avoiding challenges, they can create a cycle of frustration and stagnation. Owning your habits means understanding the impact of your daily choices on your long-term success. It's about taking the time to evaluate your habits and deciding which ones are aligned with the person you want to become. Taking ownership of your habits also requires you to be intentional with how you spend your time. Time is a finite resource, and how you spend it will determine your level of success. Every hour, every minute is an opportunity to shape your future. Are you spending your time in a way that supports your goals, or are you allowing distractions and bad habits to waste it? When you own your habits, you stop letting your days slip by without purpose or direction. You start being intentional about what you do with your time, and that makes all the difference. When you own your actions and habits, you build self-confidence and resilience. You realize that you are in control of your destiny, and that any challenge you face can be overcome by changing your actions and habits. Taking ownership gives you the freedom to design the life you want, and with consistent effort, those changes will lead to significant results. Whether you're building a business, improving your health, or growing in your personal life, success is driven by your ability to take responsibility for your choices and actions. The more you own your habits, the more you align your life with your values and goals, creating a future that you've intentionally built. Making the decision to change is the first and most powerful step you can take toward transforming your life. It's a decision that comes from within, a moment when you realize that the way things are isn't enough anymore, and you're ready to break free from the patterns, habits, and mindsets that have kept you stuck. This decision is not just about wishing for a better life. It's about committing to do whatever it takes to make that life a reality. It's about acknowledging that change doesn't just happen, it's something you create. One of the hardest things about making the decision to change is confronting the fear of the unknown. Change often requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that can feel intimidating. It means leaving behind familiar routines, environments, and even relationships. But here's the truth. Growth only happens when you step into the unfamiliar, when you push past the limits you've placed on yourself. The fear you feel in the face of change is normal, but it shouldn't stop you from moving forward. In fact, fear can be a sign that you're on the right track, that you're challenging yourself and preparing to become a better version of yourself. Making the decision to change also means taking responsibility for where you are. It means accepting that your past actions, your current mindset, and the habits you formed have led you to this point. This is not about blaming yourself or feeling guilty. It's about taking ownership of your life. When you acknowledge that your decisions have brought you here, you also recognize that you have the power to decide where you go next. The decision to change is not about pointing fingers at external circumstances. It's about looking inward and realizing that the power to shape your future lies with you. Once you make the decision, the next step is to commit to it. Deciding to change is just the beginning. What follows is the hard work, discipline, and perseverance that will bring that change to life. Without commitment, the decision is just a thought, a fleeting moment of inspiration. But when you commit to change, you don't back down. You face challenges with determination, knowing that the journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. There will be days when you want to quit, when the road ahead feels too difficult. But when you are committed, you find the strength to keep going, to push through the discomfort, and to stay focused on the bigger picture. The decision to change also requires clarity about what you want. It's not enough to simply say, I want to be different. You need to define what that difference looks like and set clear, actionable goals. What is the change you're seeking? Is it in your career, your health, your relationships, or your mindset? Be specific about what you want to achieve and break it down into smaller steps. Without a clear vision, your decision to change will lack direction. But when you know exactly what you want and how to get there, you can stay focused and motivated throughout the journey. Ultimately, making a decision to change is about taking control of your life. You are the author of your own story, and at any moment, you have the power to turn the page and begin a new chapter. It's a decision that empowers you to stop waiting for circumstances to change and to start creating the life you want. It's a choice that sets the course for your future and gives you the confidence to take the actions necessary to make that future a reality. So now it's time to make that decision. The power to change your life is in your hands. Stop waiting for the perfect moment or for someone else to make it happen for you. Decide right now that you are ready for something better, something more, and something greater. Commit to that change and take the first step, no matter how small it may seem. The journey won't be easy, but every step you take will bring you closer to the life you're meant to live. The only thing standing between you and your dreams is the decision to start. So make that decision today and don't look back. Your future starts now.